Do you ever feel like you're too real for this world? Like you're the only one not pretending, not performing, not wearing a mask to blend in with the noise? You walk through life surrounded by faces, scrolling headlines, smiling selfies. It's somehow you feel invisible. Not because you're weak, but because you're awake. You see through it. And in a world that thrives on illusion, to see clearly is both a gift and a burden. Most people never stop to question the roles they've been assigned. The student, the worker, the friend, the partner. But you pause. You wonder, is this who I really am? Or just who I was told to be? That single question, quiet, almost dangerous, is enough to set you apart. From classrooms to boardrooms, from group chats to dating apps, there's an unspoken script. Be loud, be funny, be exciting, be wanted, but never ever be real. Because real is risky, real is unpredictable. Real might make people uncomfortable. If you've ever spoken honestly in a room full of masks, you already know what happens. You're not praised for your vulnerability. You're punished. You get labeled awkward, intense, boring. Not because you said something wrong, but because you refused to say something fake. It's not that you're too much. It's that you're surrounded by people too afraid to feel. We scroll, swipe, and double tap through our days, performing connection while dying for it. We curate moments, polish our presence, and call it authenticity. But let me ask you something. How many people actually know you? The real you. The one who's quiet when everyone's loud. The one who doubts, who dreams, who feels deeply when the world says, move on. How many would show up, not just for your birthday or your highlight reel, but when everything breaks? We're drowning in communication tools, but starving for connection. We've never been more connected, and yet so many of us feel like we're drifting, unknown, unheard, unseen. Loneliness today isn't just being alone. It's being surrounded by noise, but untouched by meaning. And most of us, we've become fluent in performance, but illiterate in truth. We know how to entertain, but not how to just be. Everywhere we look, the message is the same. Be louder. Flashier, faster. We celebrate the ones who shine the brightest, even if that light is hollow. We call them successful, but what about the ones who shine in silence, the ones who sit with others in pain, who choose stillness over spectacle, who create without chasing applause? They exist, but this world doesn't make space for them easily. If you find peace in solitude, joy in deep conversation, or comfort in simply being, not performing, you're not broken. You're alive in a way most people have forgotten. But that way of being is disappearing, because being awake in a sleeping world costs you something. You'll feel more. You'll carry questions no one wants to hear. You'll notice the cracks in the system, the falseness in the smiles, the emptiness in the chase. You'll wonder, is this really it? And you'll hear, you think too much. You're too sensitive. Just be grateful. But that sensitivity, that questioning, that ache for something real, it's not your flaw, it's your humanity. You were not born to be a cog in a machine that profits from your silence and self-doubt. You were born to build, to question, to feel, to connect, to wonder. But wonder doesn't pay. Doubt doesn't trend. And silence? Silence is terrifying to an algorithm that feeds on noise. You followed the script. Go to school, get the job, pay the bills, smile through it. You did everything right. So why does it still feel so wrong? Because the promise was a lie. Wages are stagnant. Rent is insane. Time slips through your fingers like sand. Everyone's running a race, but no one knows where the finish line is. We're exhausted, overworked, overstimulated, and underfulfilled. And when we say, I'm not okay, we're met with shame. Told we're entitled, ungrateful. But is it entitlement to want purpose, to crave meaning, to long for love, community, stillness? These are not luxuries. They are what make life worth living. When Nietzsche said God is dead, he wasn't celebrating it. He was grieving. He saw a future where shared purpose would collapse and distractions would take its place. He feared a society where everything is permitted, but nothing truly matters. And he was right. We've replaced sacred silence with infinite scrolling, replaced rituals with routines, spirituality with subscriptions, community with comment sections. We call it progress, but inside we feel more lost than ever. In this chaos, Nietzsche gave us a challenge: become the Übermensch, not a tyrant, not a narcissist, but someone who creates meaning where none exists, who says, I refuse to live someone else's story. I will write my own. To become the Übermensch is to stop seeking applause and start seeking truth. It means asking, what does my soul need? What would I create if no one was watching? What does it mean to live, not just exist? This is the quiet rebellion, not with noise, but with intention. Some are already stepping away, logging off, slowing down, rejecting the lie that louder is better. They're choosing depth over dopamine, meaning over metrics. They're baking bread instead of chasing brands, writing letters, gardening, building tiny sanctuaries of truth in a culture that feeds on illusion. They're not old-fashioned, they're revolutionary. Because in a world engineered to numb you, choosing to feel is radical. Choosing to be present is powerful. Choosing to be real, that's everything. So what can you do? Start small. Turn off your notifications. Go for a walk without your phone. Speak to someone, not to impress them, but to understand them. Be boring. Be honest. Be still. Because in a culture that glorifies performance, your presence is rebellion. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be real. The world doesn't need more influencers. It needs more truth tellers. It doesn't need more hustle. It needs more healing. So stay real, stay awake. And never forget, in a society built on illusion, your authenticity isn't a weakness. It's a flame. Protect it, share it, let it light the way for others. And if this message resonated with you, don't keep it to yourself. Leave a comment. Start a conversation, not for the algorithm, but because someone out there feels exactly like you. Subscribe if you're done pretending. If you're ready to go deeper, you're in the right place. This isn't the end, this is the beginning.